Hey guys, my name is Amanda and today I'm going to be talking about the books that I want to reread and annotate. So for the first time ever this year I started annotating my books and I quickly fell in love and enjoyed the process of it. I am still working on highlighting my books. I'm still not comfortable with doing that, but I do tab my books, and if you would like to know how I annotate my books, I have done a video on that in the past and we'll link that up here if you would like to check that out. But today I'm just going to talk about the books that I would like to reread and annotate. So I've picked 5 books, or 5 series sort of. The first one that I would like to reread and annotate is the Mortal Instruments series. So I have currently only read the first 3 books in this series. I haven't continued on as yet, and I have still only read the first book in the Infernal Devices series. I know, I'm very far behind. The first 3 books in the Mortal Instruments series are some of my favourite books ever, and I would definitely love to reread them. So what I'm planning on doing with books that I do want to annotate is buying second copies, because I just can't bring myself to annotate my original copies. But thankfully for me, I won a complete set of the Mortal Instruments series a few years ago now, and so I have 2 copies of this already, and I didn't think of that until I started filming this video. So I definitely would like to reread this. I definitely will plan on annotating the second editions I have. The second editions I have are the newer ones that they brought out that have the black spines. I don't know where they are, otherwise I would have them to show you, so sorry about that. But I definitely am looking forward to rereading that one day. The next series that I would like to annotate is the Hunger Games trilogy. So at this point in time I have ordered a second edition of the Hunger Games, so it is on its way to me hopefully very, very soon, and I plan on annotating that very soon. I'm at this stage not sure if I want to annotate the entire series or just the first book, because the first book in the series was one of my favourites, and while I loved the entire series, I really feel like the first book is the only one that I go back to when I have reread it in the past. So at this point I don't know if I'm going to annotate the whole series or just the first one. So I have ordered myself a second copy, but unfortunately it's not here yet, so I can't show you. So hopefully that will arrive to me soon. And as I sat down to film this video, there was one more that popped into my head that I would like to annotate, and that is Nevernight by J. Kristoff. Again, I would only probably annotate the first book in the series, and again I would like to order a second copy. I do already own an ARC and a hard copy of this, but I don't want to annotate my ARC, and I also don't want to annotate my pretty hard copy. I would then probably get a third copy of that book. I'm trash, what can I say? So yeah, that was just a bonus one that I thought of while I was filming. The next series that I would like to annotate is one that I have spoken about in my vlogs, so if you've been watching those then you may know this one already, but I would like to annotate the Harry Potter series. So I currently have the first 3 books in the house editions, and I'm being a little bit weird and collecting all of the different house editions. So I have the first 2 in the Gryffindor editions, I intend on getting the next 2 in Ravenclaw, the next 2 in Slytherin, and the final one in Hufflepuff when they are released. So yeah, I am definitely already planning on annotating these, and these are the editions that I'm going to annotate because I already have multiple copies of this book. I have my original ones that I read the first time around, I have illustrated ones that you cannot see, and now I have these ones. So these are the ones that I plan on annotating, and I actually plan on doing an annotating vlog when I do these. I don't know if I'll do that per book or if I'll just do it for the entire series, we'll see. The next series that I would like to annotate is Twilight. So yes, I am trash for this series, and I'm only holding the first 2 because the other 2 were buried under a pile of books. But I really, really would like to reread this series and annotate it. It's been years since I read the Twilight series, but when I read it, I just loved it. I can't help it. I know it's no literary masterpiece, but I'm kind of trash for it and I'm keen on it. So I would love to reread this. Again, I just feel like these original editions, which are the editions that I first read, are a little bit sentimental to me, so I would like to get second editions. I would like to get the white editions if they are still available. I don't know. But this is something that I would like to reread at some point. if you've been watching my vlogs, particularly the ones in the end of November, then you know what series I'm about to say, because I am absolute trash for this series and I loved it so much, and I read it for the first time this year and I already plan on rereading and annotating it, and that is Deluxe Series by Jennifer L. Armentrout. So I have had beginnings on my shelf for years and years. I don't even remember when I hauled it. I do know that I read Obsidian for the first time in October of 2012, and back then I gave it 5 stars. I loved it, but for whatever reason I never continued on with the series. So this year, for some reason, on a whim, I picked up Lux Beginnings and decided to give it a read and became obsessed. I blasted through the entire series very quickly in about a week, maybe 2, which is unusual for me. I typically don't read that quickly, but I blasted through the series and I'm obsessed with it now. Katie and Damon are my all-time favourite. Damon is got to be one of my favourite characters to read about. He is such a hilarious smartass and I love it. So this is one of the series that I plan on rereading. I did order a second copy of this entire series minus Oblivion, because I am going to annotate them in beautiful new editions. Plus I ordered a hard copy edition of Opposition, which will hopefully match these editions in paperback. I think Opposition is probably my favourite out of the series, even though they're all high 5 stars for me. So I am planning on doing an annotating vlog for this series. Again, I don't know if I'm going to do it per book or per series, we'll see, but I am definitely planning on doing that. So with the books that I plan on annotating that I've got second copies for, I will be highlighting the series and drawing on it and tabbing it. What I want to be able to do with that is be able to flick back to some of my favourite scenes or some of my favourite quotes or just things like that. So I will be highlighting them, I will be tabbing them, but that's why I bought second copies, because I still can't bring myself to write in or tab my ones that I read the first time around. I know, it's weird, what can I say? So those were some of the books that I plan on rereading and annotating. So at this stage I'm really just getting into annotating things, so I don't know what else I'll annotate at this point, but these are just the series that I thought about and knew that I wanted to reread. So that was it. Let me know in the comments down below, do you annotate books, and if so, what are some of your books that you would love to annotate or that you have annotated? And let me know how you annotate, because I'm still kind of working on my process and I love hearing about how other people do it. But that was it. Thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you all again in my next one. Bye!